Okay, today I will be replacing the battery on a 1986 C4 Corvette. As you can see, there's a battery. This is going into the year 2020. The car has stopped cranking very well. It's kind of slow to crank. As you can see, the date there is 9/15. So got about 5 years out of this battery, so that's pretty good. So I've watched how to do this from a couple of other videos, and I'm going to attempt to do it myself. Stay tuned. Okay, the first thing I did, as you'll notice, is I turned the wheel all the way to the left, and that allows more clearance for these screws here on the inner fender. And of course, I have a luxury of a car lift, which on a Corvette is a tremendous help, but you don't need it. You can do this without it. So that's the first step. Turn the wheels. These screws here are 27 millimeter and or 27 Torx, I'm sorry. So you'll loosen them up, and we'll end up taking them all the way out, and I'll get back with you. Okay, as you can see, it's loose there after removing those 3 bolts. Now what we have is hiding behind this weather stripping, 10 millimeter bolt there, and I have a ratcheting wrench that hopefully I can get in there. And as you can see, loosen it up and take it all the way out. Pardon my hairy hands. And that rubber weather stripping will give you a little bit of problem, but there we have it. 10 millimeter. Put that to the side. Now we're completely loose on the top. The final phase of this job is if you come down here, and if you look right there, where'd you go? Right there. There's a 10 millimeter, and you'll have to use the open-end part of your wrench. And you don't have to take this all the way out. You just loosen a few rounds and it slides supposedly out of the slot. And you can kind of see down in there. Focus. Oops. And it's going to take a little more time, so I'll get back with you. Okay, as you can see, the panel's removed, and there's the bolt that's still inside, and you just slide the tab out. All that's left now is to disconnect the battery, which you start with the negative terminal. Here's the panel, and as you can see the back side here, see how that's slotted? It will slide right in. this would be a good time to clean that mess up on the bottom that you ever get around to. So I'll be back. Okay, I've disconnected the negative terminal. You do that first. The reason why you do that is when you go over here to the positive terminal, if you were to try to do that first and your wrench hits a piece of metal, it will short out, it will arc. Sometimes it will do some pretty good damage. So anyway, you disconnect the circuit by taking the negative off first, which will not spark. So now I've already pre-loosened the and you'll see here I've got a larger head bolt in the positive side. That's because I have this fuse block for a 1000-watt amp that I have for the audio system. So so that's the reason this is different. But you should have 8mm head normally, which is on this screw. So I'll continue. Okay, so the final phase before you remove the battery is down here. There is a 13mm bolt which is on your battery hold down. So you'll need a 13mm socket and a long extension to reach down there. You can use a shorter one and put it closer, but I'm using a long one for this. I'll be right back. So once the hold down is removed, you can see what that looks like. Your battery is loose now. So as you can see, this I believe was a Walmart brand battery, which is held up good. It's group size 75, and this was 500 cold cranking amps. So we're going to remove this. It's got a handy handle. Pick it up and set it out of the way. There you have it. Battery is removed. Now it's off to parts store to trade this core in and get a fresh battery. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm back with the replacement battery. Bought it at a local battery shop near me. One thing to make sure, sometimes they come with protective caps. Just pull that out of the way. That doesn't stay on because it won't make connection. The positive side over there was already out. Also, when you buy these, make sure that the terminal, the positive negative terminals, are on the same side as the original battery, which this one is. The negative's over here, positive's over there. They tried to talk me into taking a little bit bigger battery to get a particular model that I wanted. And as you can see, this fits. This battery is the same as the original. It's a group 75. And it is exactly the right size to fit in the tray that's on this car. The other battery, I believe a 78 group, is a little longer, and it would not have fit in here. And as you can see, this goes down in there exactly the way it should. And if it had been longer, then you more than likely the hold down wouldn't work. The battery would be sliding around. You want to make sure you get the exact same size as was in the car. So my first thing is I will start putting this back together. The first thing is we'll make sure that the hold down is going to work, and it should. And you want to make sure you don't cross thread it, and I believe if I have it started, so I'm going to pause and double check it and tighten it up. Okay, I have the positive terminal connected. You want to kind of pull on it, make sure it's good and snug, good and tight. And now we're ready to complete the circuit. And you saw a little spark there. That is normal. Connect the negative terminal and tighten it up. And I have a 8mm socket and ratchet here. Come on, get on there. Snug it up. And at this point, we are connected back. The battery is locked down. Okay, panels are back on. I'm sorry I didn't film going back on, but it was my first try, and wanted to make sure I got it right. But basically, I put these 3 bolts in and started them. I started the bolt over here, and the bottom one, of course, was already loose where I slid that in. So left everything loose. And I would say the first thing you need to do is tighten these 3 up. That pushes this back where it's going to go with the inner fender well. So do that first, snug them up, not over tight, but snug. Again, I believe that's a 27, number 27 Torx head. So put that in there, and then this over here was a 10mm, and I used a ratchet wrench just so I wouldn't upset this rubber much. And there comes the local fire department, our local heroes, going to possibly save someone. So anyway, 10mm wrench down here, open end. Once I tighten this side, I had to line this up, and you want it to be lined up, but you want that gap. You want a good even gap. You may even want to open the door just to make sure it doesn't hit, which I will do in a minute. Okay, the battery is installed. Let's give her a crank. Shifter is in reverse. That's the only way you can get a key in and out of the car. Once you turn the ignition on, push the clutch, take a shifter out of reverse, and I can release the clutch. Well, I think I have to have it in to crank. Okay, we got 12.3 volts. And looks like we're charging up to 14 volts. Looking good. Gotta love these 80s style graphics. One of the cool things about these cars. 1986 Chevrolet Corvette with nearly 48,000 miles on it now. That's actual miles. As you can see, 0 before 4, has not been rolled over. Original miles. Anyway, looks like that problem is solved. Thanks for watching.